Hello and welcome back to StarCraft II, and this game against Zodiac, the Terran. And yes, I'm still Zerg, and this is once again one of my point of view games, or first person games, or whatever you want to call it. And you can see by my really cool split there. Wow, last minute action right there. So I can just jump straight into the game. Firstly, I just wanted to say that I'm still doing these sort of in my first-person view because I find it just gives you something different. It gives you a look at how I play and how I move around when I'm playing. Basically, at what I do. I think you can see a lot of replay casts elsewhere. You can. There are so many YouTubers that do StarCraft replay casts, okay, and very few of them actually do this kind of thing. I know there are a lot of streamers and stuff, and that's great, but they're a lot better than me, so there's a difference there. Anyway, so I generally tend to start, I sort of say this every single game, but I try to start my games off by just scouting pretty early. I usually build my Overlord at 10 and then just pop 3 more drones out after that. That's pretty unimportant. I scout quite early, and I just like to know, firstly, what my opponent is doing, because I've had so much cheese on the ladders recently. I played this game a couple of days ago, and it was after the announcement that the ladders were going to lock, so people were cheesing in like every single game. They were just trying to get quick wins as fast as they possibly could, and that's pretty annoying, especially for someone like me who doesn't play very often. Then you come back to this. But yeah, that's just what the ladders are like. They react so quickly to what's happening in the community and with the official news. But back to the game. My first sort of initial choice here was, because I didn't scout him in the close position at the bottom middle of the map. I was going to say bottom left, but that's not really bottom left. I decided I was going to fast expand, else I would have thrown down a 14 gas and 14 pool. Yeah, 14 gas, 14 pool, which would have been a pretty, like, sort of economically heavy spawning pool, and then get my quick gas and then throw down the expansion after that. But yeah, so with it seemed that I didn't scout him there, I decided to just go for the fast expansion, because I like getting that expansion up. I like the feeling of having that sort of that natural up and having that out of the way, so I can quickly get the spine crawlers down at the ramp and easily defend them both. And you know, it's just nice having the expansion up. All around a good feeling. I think all Zerg players will sort of agree with me there. So there were a few things that I wasn't totally happy with in this game. One being that I didn't get my speed out fast enough, my Zergling speed. I know a lot of people are saying, play the Spanishiwa style, play that style, it's so good having no gas, but I don't know. I mean, I've tried it a few times, and then I just have these urges to get the gas and to get the speed out and to get enough for like banelings and stuff, and just against Terran specifically, I just like having banelings. It's just so important to me. I just don't feel like spine crawlers and Zerglings alone, especially Zerglings without speed, can actually handle that early game pressure from Terran. So I was slightly weary because I did see he had a gas up. You might have realized that. And generally when you see gas, then they either go in for some sort of tech play, but they're not fast expanding. That's like the main thing. Okay, they're not going for incredibly quickly command center. And then when I saw these Marines and SCV moving out, I thought, oh goodness, bunker time. And then I sort of panicked a bit. I don't think I really overreacted. The gas, getting the gas down was what I was talking about. Like, I wanted that speed, but I shouldn't have gotten it. But anyway, it's unimportant. So I may have overreacted here, pulling all these. This was a panic. As you can see, I'm panicking right now, and I thought, well, he's going to be on my doorstep in just a second. I'm going to try to put bunkers down. It wasn't 100% the case, but he was definitely on his way. And as you'll see in like a minute or two, the first attack was actually the hardest for me to hold off. It was really tough, and it generally is, because I keep saying this to you, that my biggest problem is the drone / Zergling balance at the start of the game. If you're getting a Roach Warren down, then it's obviously a bit different, because those Roaches last a bit longer, they can do a bit more damage, they're a bit more substantial. But having Zerglings out, even if you have quite a few of them and you have them fighting against this clump of Marines, they generally just don't tend to do that well. But yeah, I'll get to that when I get to it. You'll see in just a second. So I was happy that I got the Zalnaga. I was happy that I sort of positioned that Zergling there. I was trying to do a bit of scouting, which is good. I think I should have used my Overlord right about now to just shimmy it over his base and see what's actually going on there. And yes, I got supply capped quite a lot here. Don't even get me started on that. It's another thing that I'm not too good at. I had an Overlord coming in, but I should have had like 2 Overlords coming in, or maybe even just like another one after that. I'm just really bad at that kind of thing. I just keep forgetting about that, and anyway. Now, firstly, you can see I'm about to reposition these spine crawlers, and I think that's a really good idea. They could have been placed a bit better. I should have actually had more of them. I am, like, beginning to realize that having 6 or 7 spine crawlers at the start of the game is never even a bad thing. The only time that wouldn't help is if they go for something like air or something like early tanks or something like that. But this guy wasn't doing exactly that. You'll see in just a second. He was just building a lot of marines. Now, I had a big problem here. My baneling nest was done. I started morphing the banelings. It was a bad position. I cancelled them all, moved them all back. But then luckily I decided to morph them again, and that's actually what saved me here. Because that's a lot of marines, and I actually have, at the moment, no Zerglings out. That's my first group that just popped now. I wasn't happy with my engagement here. I sent those Zerglings in way too early. I should have waited for the Banelings to pop. I think I lost all these Zerglings for no reason whatsoever. The Banelings did save me here. That's the end of it. I didn't pull my drones off fast enough. There were a lot of things that I should have done differently here. This was a panic defense, and I just feel that there's a lot that I could have worked on. I was happy that he sent every single marine that he had to follow these drones around. That sort of helped me out. It definitely helped me out. It kept him off my hatchery for a while. He didn't take down my natural, as you'll see in just a second. It gave me a bit more time to get those Zerglings out. Again, I engaged too soon there. I should have waited for the other Zerglings. But once I had them all gathered up, I realized that he didn't actually have that many marines left. And after I cleared them out, yeah, things definitely started working better. And now, did you see what I queued up there? I made such a lucky snap decision there. That could have backfired so hard. But I queued up like 7 drones, or was it 6 drones there? That, I think, if you were looking at a pro player doing it, you'd probably say, oh my god, that's so good. But with me, I'd say, oh my god, that's so lucky. Now here I actually pulled all my drones off the gas, but having as many minerals as I had right there, I should probably have done that while throwing down a 3rd right now, but I didn't. So I was thinking to myself now that he had definitely expanded already. I didn't see any gas units in that unit composition that he had. Where were all those minerals going? He either had a ton of Raxes or he must have thrown down that expansion. Again, I think I should have used that silly Overlord that's hanging around behind his base. But I did throw down 2 more spine crawlers, and that might not have been the best idea. I think I might have been better off kitting myself to rather be more offensive. Maybe get my Zerglings out of the map, get some Banelings hidden somewhere. I actually would have liked to try some Burrow, because that's one of the things I really don't try enough, Baneling Burrow. But I guess that's something I must try in a different video. I should force myself to do things like this, to try Baneling Burrow, to try Baneling Drops, to try all sorts of things with Banelings actually. But anyway, now what I was trying to do was I was just trying to get like saturation on both my lines. Now saturation being at least 2 drones per mineral patch. And that would have been good if I could have gotten that. But I was extremely happy that I didn't spot his expansion. I was even more happy with the fact that I actually kept this Zergling alive for long enough to look around as much as it did. You can see that I just queued it around the map. I sent it down to another possible expansion location, for him at least, and I didn't spot anything there, so I was really happy. Now I was getting the Evo chamber because I thought maybe +1 would help me, perhaps, but then again, I think it was a bit silly because I was planning on attacking really soon. Now, my saturation was up like as high as it should have been. I don't think I needed more at all. I think I have enough drones now, enough to produce a lot of Zerglings and Banelings for sure. So my plan from this point on was just to get enough Zerglings and Banelings out to bust down his front and take down whatever he has. So because I didn't see his expansion there, I knew I had more income than him. I think I could have been spending a little bit better here. I could have possibly got another queen down. I could have gotten more crawlers down. I could have thrown down, which I think all Zergs would probably agree with, more hatcheries. Even if it was a macro hatch, it would have been great. I did throw down an expansion in just a second, but it wasn't quick enough, because if you look at the timer on the game, 12 minutes in, I should have already either had my 3rd up or it should have been just about finished. Okay, but I think proper Zerg players would probably say that it should have been finished and fully saturated already, so that's exactly the opposite of what I've got now. But I was moving out, my creep spread was okay, and then I was about to get that upgrade, but I decided against it because I thought to myself I might just morph more Banelings instead. But I was moving out, and I was happy that I sort of stopped back there just to have a look around first. And when I saw the bunker, I knew that, you know, he was definitely going to expand now, or if not right now, he had expanded already. So I think I was hitting a sweet spot here with the time in. Like, this is probably some totally noob timing and random gold level stuff right here, but I think my decisions, like leading up to the end of this game, they were actually pretty good. I think that this was the right choice to make. Had I gone further, and let's just talk about the attack first. There's a lot that I would have changed here. I shouldn't have ran straight in as I did. I think I should have used the Zerglings to go around the back to attack his expansion from behind because there's so much space, and then I should have sent the Banelings in the front to take down the bunker and then get the Marines from behind in effect, because my Zerglings would have been at the other side, the Marines would have been facing them. I think you understand what I'm saying. I should have used a pincer attack with the Zerglings and the Banelings, but as you can see, my attack did work, and I think that's just because I had so much more than him. And at the same time, I mean, I had a lot more income than him. I could see that his mineral line wasn't that saturated here. I don't know what he had at his natural. I didn't even get to look there because he GG'd out before that. And yes, I did win this game. There's the spoiler right before the end. But I was sort of happy with it. It wasn't really an all-in. I know it might be a bit misleading. I had a nice economy run in. I was throwing down a third. I was preparing for the game after that push, after that Zergling Baneling bust that I did there at the end. Lucky it worked, sure, but I don't think it would have ended right then and there if I had failed. I did throw down those 2 spine crawlers, which I said before I didn't really need to do, especially if I was going to go for that kind of aggression, but I think the game went okay. You guys can let me know what you think. There's a lot of stuff, as I said before, that I could have changed. My control wasn't that great. Macro was okay. I mean, I like the decisions that I made about when to make drones and when to make combative units, because for the first time in a long time I wasn't caught with my pants down and no combative units. I was actually able to counterattack pretty effectively. I think the biggest flaw in my play at the moment would probably be that I should rather just set up a game plan before I go into these games. At the moment, I'm sort of winging it. I just get in the game, I try look what he's doing, and I try counter it as effectively as my mind can tell me to, but yeah, it doesn't always work. But that's going to be it. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about the game below, and check back here soon for more.